Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are working yet again on our gamepad visualizer. The idea here is I went on a gaming bender last week. I didn't stream for like 5 or 6 days or something. Holy, I was on vacation, kind of. It was taking my PTO. What can I say? My bosses didn't like it, but it is what it is. And I was playing this is because like the stream before, we kind of like wrote a driver for this controller that had like its gyro exposed as a mouse, and we wanted the gyro exposed as a gyro, so we wrote a driver to convert the gyro back into from a mouse back into a gyro, so that Steam converted it back into a mouse. And then I was playing a lot of like first-person shooters with that. It's like super fun. It's like super fun, way more fun than usual. And so I want to be like, guys, look how cool me playing games with my gyro is, but you can't tell when you're watching, right? It just looks like I'm playing mouse and keyboard. And it's like, that's what's cool. But what would be even cooler is if I could show like a little thing on the side of a recording that's like, hey, here is the controller, here are the buttons I'm pressing, and here is its rotation in 3D space. As I am aiming and stuff. And this is, I also kind of want it for myself out of curiosity. I don't really know how much aiming I'm doing with the stick and how much aiming I'm doing with the gyro. So being able to go back and like look at clips where I'm tracking people and see like when am I flicking with the stick and when am I flicking with the controller itself, it would be like kind of interesting for me to look at. So the idea is we want to like take this shitty model of a controller that we've made, stick it into a program that parses the like movement of the controller as well. You know what I mean? That's the idea. That's the goal. And so what we have so far is we have opened up SDL3 with his GPU abstraction, which is like, it's very more involved than the OpenGL style abstractions. It's like very much a like new style pipeline, right? So you're like it's very Vulkan-esque, I should say, where I haven't really made a Vulkan thing from scratch yet, but I think it's like a much more simplified setup version of a Vulkan pipeline, but it's there kind of. So we kind of got to the point where we could, draw a triangle on the screen, which was very hard for us. It was a lot of work, but we got there. And today's goal is to just continue on and do the next part. So we start by loading this model that we made in Blender, and then trying to get inputs from SDL. Oh yeah, the reason that we're using SDL at all, by the way, is because the like gyro driver, like how you like get the rotation of this thing, is a user space parsing of, for lack of a better term, I'll say raw USB packets. It's a little bit not raw USB packets, but it's close enough that we can kind of say that. So SDL has like a set of drivers for like a bunch of different controllers. And so we already need SDL for input handling, so we might as well try their cool 3D abstractions, We might as well. There we go. So that's what we're trying. So step 1, export this thing. OBJ file. And let's take a look and see what's in there. I'm picking OBJ because it's the easiest one to parse from what I think. By the way, I was skimming through object file wiki page, and it says some applications support vertex colors by putting red, green, and blue values after XYZ. This precludes specifying W. The color range from 0 to 1 sounds a bit weird. Like, why not a W? Also, why only some? Why is that? I guess because some parsers like wanted to. Like, it's like, I think it's like what they're kind of saying is like not part of the spec, but some people fucking do it. That would be like my read of that thing, Okay, what was it? What a viz controller OBJ to here? Let's take a little peek at what this thing is. So we have a set of many objects, right? So each O here specifies like a new component that we added, right? So this is the body of the controller. This is the south button, east, west, north button, start button, back button. I don't share. I think I spelt share wrong. That's kind of funny. We can fix that. There we go. Modes. So this is like all of our buttons, and all of our buttons have a bunch of vertices associated with them, as well as vertex normals, right? So each vertex has like a direction where it's pointing away from whatever surface that vertex is attached to. And then this is texture coordinates, VT, if I remember correctly. So I think that we just don't need those because we're going to do solid coloring for everything. S, I don't remember what that is. Let's see. OBJ file format. Let's see. What does S stand for? Do they tell us in here? F O S. Smooth shading. Sure. Which we don't care about. We'll just decide if we want to smooth shade or not. And in reality, I think the way that we're going to texture this stuff is like intentionally not in a lit environment, right? Like what I've done here is I've just used emission properties on this thing. And I want to use like just so that like I don't have to worry about lights or anything. We can just kind of have the thing be the color that it is, right? So smooth shading doesn't actually have any effect there because there's no light to bounce off it. So like normal interpolation doesn't do anything. I guess maybe if we're doing something with the normals, which we might to try to do like outlines, we might use normals for that. Maybe this is relevant, but we'll just decide ourselves. And then these are like faces. So this is kind of saying, this is a quad made up of 4 points in 3D space. And these are indexes into the vertex list above, which I don't like, by the way, because I don't want to have to figure out how to draw quads. So I'm just going to re-export this thing and say triangulated mesh so that I don't have to think about that. You know what I mean? So now hopefully if I look at this thing again, hopefully those faces, there we go, much better. 3 is much easier than 4. 3 is much easier than 4. I'll take it. Yeah, so I guess we just have to like parse this stuff and stick it somewhere. So let's say load from obj path. Probably, yeah, right? And this is going to return a model, which is going to be like a thing that lives on the GPU in some GPU buffer that's like follows some expected format or something, right? I think it's time to pull in stud so that we can have our IO stuff, because I prefer mine than the standard libraries. So I think it's just like add git stud and then heal the path in here so it's relative. And then I think in build zig, I think I realized that you can just do like b add or create module. And here we can say like root source file is stud source stud. And like this kind of just works. Which means that we can go like exe root module add import. You have SVG renderer, right? Did you try to render the controller model in it? Well, the controller model is I'm using a 3D model, not a 2D one, because I want to do 3D rotations. So no, I did not try. And also the SVG renderer is not done. We are going back to that at some point, hopefully. The plan is to go back to it after we finish this. But, you know, we always get distracted by something. You never know. You never know. Okay. So hopefully if I launch this thing, this should work. Perfect. Perfect. And then we go stud IO open path. I think we're going read only, so we don't have to type anything. I think that's like fine. And then defer, close that thing. Okay, we're probably going to want to load this thing into, we need like an allocator, or like a scratch allocator maybe? Maybe? Let's do that. So we will do some allocations, we'll free them all later, don't give a fuck. Colors would be in the material file if you read that. Yeah, but we'll just make up the colors ourselves. I'm really just more worried about like the shapes. Okay. What am I fucking doing here? We're doing like, we have to open the file, we've done that. We need a reader. F reader is stud IO reader around this file with read buff. Okay. And then I guess let's do a little bind of the interface here, and then we should be able to go like R what? Take, I guess like we start with a line. We're gonna want to parse take 1 byte. While true. while true, I guess we want to take line, take delimiter of a new line. So this is the line. And then we're going to want to take the first byte of the line. So maybe we'll kind of use our Lexer thing. Okay. And this is our thing. And we're going to say, like, Lex, take one between, I don't know, A and Z, probably. So this is the, like, type. Then we're going to, like, take while any of white space, probably. Right, so we get the type flag, I guess. This is going to be space. And then depending on the type flag, I guess it depends on how we're going to parse these arguments, right? Or else continue, probably, if it's something we don't understand. If we don't see anything, there's, like, nothing to do there. Let's look at the data of this thing, and it should be, like, V. Else, I think we just don't care. Okay, that seems good. And then let's do like a take number on this thing. And we should get 3, I think, right? Our vertices should be 3 points. 1, 2, 3, yeah, okay. So we'll go const A is this, probably, or else an error. Probably. And there's probably X, Y, Z, something like this. Probably. How was drinking today? It was not bad. I saw some friends, hung out. It was fine. It was good. Yeah. Good time. Okay. Take number. This thing's going to return maybe a floating point, I guess. And he's going to take in our Lex buffer. And he is going to be like, probably just take until space, right? I think that's probably fine. Lex take while take until any, so just take until a white space. And then does this, what happens if we run out of room here? He just goes to the end, I think. Yeah, that seems good. That seems good. Chords or floats? I think so. Common delimited, no? Double check. Looks like spaces to me. Looks like spaces to me. So this should just be like, const range is this, or else return error no number or something. Then we try like stud format parse float of the range, the thing in this range. Return that thing. Easy. Okay, what are we doing with this vertex? We are putting it into a buffer on the GPU eventually. So I guess for now, vertices, we'll say, is a stud array list of, well, we're going to see like many objects in here, right? So if we see an object, this is like, I think that we're returning many models here. I think that's what's happening. Because there's like many different objects in this thing. Does it matter? I guess it depends on how we want to model this, right? We could put this all into one vertex buffer and render the whole thing. But then how do we color individual buttons? I think having the individual buttons makes sense, and having them tagged by key also makes sense. Right? We want to know like which button is which. Yeah. So this is almost like, we almost want like a, like, what do I want to say? Const, like, button, or like model components. of like, you know, north, south, share. You know what? We kind of want to like tag all of the individual components. And then we can say here, we can have like an enum map of those things, right? So this ends up just being like a fancy way of indexing into array, but by like name, which is kind of nice for us. Maybe model component is wrong. This is going to be like controller element or something, maybe. Fine. So I guess what we're doing is like we kind of have our vertices is a stood array list of float 32s, I guess is fine. And I think what we want to do here is every time we see a new object, we like commit the last model or something. So we want to say like current obj is empty. Does this need to? I'm just thinking about like if we make this a name like this, then the memory that has the name in it is going to get like clobbered later. So we kind of want to make this a buff, like an array list as well, I think. But like he's gonna be initialized with a name buff or something. And like surely 128 is good enough. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of say like current obj. When we see the O, I guess like if current obj len is greater than 0, we like insert the last thing into the return. Right? So it's like ret insert like I guess it's like const enum name stood meta string to enum of whatever the. Oh yeah, wait, hold on. This is fun. We don't have to hold the name here because we already are converting this into like a number here. So this can just be a optional controller component. Yeah. Nice. Nice. And then here it's like if current obj, then ret append or insert current obj into with like the value of vertices items. And then this is a problem because we said this is going to be scratch data because the model is actually on GPU. So we should be able to do something like put this thing onto the GPU right fucking now, I think. If we go like copy to GPU, nice. Okay, what else does this thing want? Data, so this is vertices, items. Okay. And then his buffer is my brain is falling over. We don't have a buffer yet, so we need to make one. Create buffer. Okay. GPU buff is this, and then that goes here. Okay, and then what does this guy want in here? How we used this before. Okay, so we have byte length of vertices items. Okay, usage is vertex. That's chill to me. I'm gonna have a dumb question. Here we are gonna pass a decent number of vertices to the shader to draw them in a nutshell. Does GL have warp thread like thing like CUDA mental, CL mental model, or is it gonna do that in sequence? Um, I think that like the vertex processing is done in those warps, right? That's the same idea, like in CUDA. Right, like the whole point. It's actually the other way around, right? We made these like GPUs to render 3D scenes, and then realized that that was like really good for other math as well, right? So like the idea of executing a batch of math on some numbers is like it's for exactly this purpose of like doing math on these vertices before rendering them. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole point. So I think the answer is just yes, but maybe you're asking something different. Okay. So then we should be able to insert this thing with the GPU buff. Okay, easy. Just split by number of warps on the hood and draw them. Well, yeah, I don't really know like how the exact dispatching goes, but like, yeah. We'll just say yeah. Okay, ret is a stood enum map of controller element to whatever the fuck model. And we are initializing with, I think, just undefined. I guess like this. Yeah. Because presumably this thing knows if the thing is present or not, so this will just make it empty. Perfect. Okay. So then, why doesn't he like insert? Set maybe? Put. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So then we're like current object is equal to stood meta string to enum of the next part. So the name is gonna be like Lex like I guess it's like just the whole line. Yeah, I think it's just the rest like the rest of the shit. I think. I don't know, we'll see. Easy. Okay. So then we need to do, I guess, vertice like 4, 0 to 3. We can do vertices append. Like all this shit. With what, the scratch allocator? That seems reasonable. And then I think we also have to consume white space. I think that's fine. Okay. Sure. That seems maybe right. And then the model format is expecting XYZs, so I think we're good there. And I guess let's just try running this thing and see what fucking happens. So can we do like model load from obj, root init commands, and that should just be like viz controller obj, I think. Model. And then can we just print what we get here? He's missing something. He needs an allocator. Okay, let's make a 2 megabyte scratch buffer on the stack. And then use that as our backing for scratch is stood alloc scratch buff allocator. Boom. And then we can use that wherever the fuck we wanted to here. All right. What's he mad about? True, path goes here. No, F goes here. This thing needs to be tried, maybe. Okay, this guy's like, yo, dog, we can't fail yet. It's like, okay, good point. This guy's like, yo, Lex needs to be mutable. So true. This guy's like, yo, that's not. Those are not bytes. We need to upload bytes to the GPU, you dumb idiot. All right. This guy is like, yo, I expected a model and I need a. You gave me a buffer. That's true. What does our model have? He has a buffer and num triangles. So I guess num triangles is vertices like len over 3, I guess. Okay, he doesn't like that because this is be int cast. Okay. Chill, string to enum. He needs to know which enum we're making. That's a pretty good point. Pretty good point. This guy's like, I expected an optional type found. Oh yeah, so this is just try take number, I guess. Okay. Dereference a thing. This guy returns. I think we just don't care if we find any white space here. We just discard. We do need to return our return. Pretty good point, compiler. Thank you. And what do we get? Invalid character. All right. Well, can we take a look at what the fuck is going on then? F is a string from here. What's it look like? N. Yeah, that does seem bad, huh? Seems pretty bad. Why is that happening? Why is that happening? So 720593. Oh. I see. Because we are like trying to pull out a vertex normal. That's what a crazy sentence. What a crazy thing. That's just there's so many like holy shits in there. Okay. So this has to be more like obj type, we'll say, or yeah. And we'll just like have some that we support. So it's V O. I think for now we don't care about normals. We'll come back to that later. And in reality, we shouldn't be appending these vertices, by the way. We should be appending faces. So what we've done here is actually wrong. In that we should be using... I mean, this stuff maps better to index rendering, but we're not doing that right now. So I'm just trying to think what's easier to do. I think the easiest thing to do is just like duplicate data here. So like, how do I say this? Because the data format is like vertex 1, vertex 2, vertex 3, and then you construct a face out of like v3, v2, v1. Like there's a chance that these vertexes will be like reused. But we just don't want to manage that right now. So we'll make a big vertex list that like is this part. You know what I mean? So we'll just copy paste the vertices as we need them. I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. So we have vertices, which this is now an intermediate data type, so we can kind of say this is what we want. We'll see. We'll kind of keep these as 3s, keep them in chunks of 3s, and then we have faces, and this is really the more interesting part. So when we push, we're going to use faces like this, and then when we see this is now going to be like type flag comes from the type flag string. So this is going to be like std meta string to enum obj type of type flag range data lexbuff or whatever, or else continue. We don't support it. Okay, we're getting closer. What doesn't he like here? Oh, this needs to be a string now. So this is a take until any, I think. Take until white space. There we go. There we go. And now this guy is a little bit nicer. -O, -V. And you need to handle face now. So each face hold. Vertex format's wrong now. Because we want to kind of push all of these at once. I guess it's more like just XYZ actually. Boom. Okay, we're getting closer. Okay, so each face, this is an index into the vertex list. Oh, I guess we have to reset the vertex list when we get a new thing. Probably like this. Okay, so each face now, I think they're 1 indexed, I think. Not 0 indexed, if I remember correctly. Starting at 1, yeah. So it's something like we go vertices. I guess we take. What does this thing look like again? It's a space delimited list of slash delimited vertex positions. Wait, no, this doesn't make sense. Each face. Oh yeah. So each vertex is 3 points as a position. Then each face is made up of 3 vertices. No, then I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on here then. Is the slashes like vertex normal texture coordinate maybe? Ah, yeah, vertex texture normal. So we only care about the first one for now. For now. Okay, cool. So we go we want the line, which we have already. We've parsed out the face thing, we've parsed out the space. So I think we can just do take number. Can we do like we can just no, let's do this. We'll do a const component is take until white space. And then we'll say I don't know. Stud lex buff init on the component now, I guess. Something like this, and then we can kind of say like take until. Is there take while not, take one not? There's no like, okay, take until any slash, I guess. So this is gonna be the number. So we try std format parse int on this thing, I guess, as like a u size probably. Because it's gonna be like a vertex index, I guess. I guess we kind of have to say like vert index, and then we could do the rest of them after, but we won't yet. And we say vert index range, I guess. Vert index. If this fails, return error, no vertex or something. So then we have one, and we can kind of say like stud format parse int usize given this thing. Base 10 probably. Yeah. Okay. If what, like vert items len is, I guess we just subtract 1 here because 1 indexed. Okay, cool. If this is greater than or equal to vert index, return error invalid vertex or something. Yep. Okay. Then we should just be able to push the thing, this vertex. But we need to do this 3 times. 4, 0 to 3. There we go. Am I confused at all? Take while any white space. Just in case, so that we can do the next one after. Great. Invalid face. So only take an ABC and you do that 3 times. That is the goal. Yes, 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 yes. I think that's fine. We need to put this thing in the face now, right? So we say faces, append, scratch with vertices. I guess we want to like copy this thing. So it's vertices at vert index 0, and we're appending all 3. It's like something like this. I think that's right. I guess we'll find out. Invalid vertex. So he's getting a face where the vertex list does not match. Interesting. Index is vert index, and len is this. Let's take a look. What have I done wrong? Wait, that seems totally fine. It's backwards. It's backwards, backwards, backwards. Still? Now it's fucked up. Now it's fucked up. Okay. So can we print which object we're in to help me out? South. So in the south button, we are looking at index 3566 and our length is 98. Seems bad. Seems fucking bad. So how many vertices are on here? Looks like 98 is correct. And then what is our face indexes on this thing? These indexes are relative to all faces, all vertices ever. Not the vertices in this list. Interesting. Interesting. So we should not clear the vertex list ever. Okay. And then this is all happening whether or not we are in a current object right now. So, We'll try any here. Okay, so that parsed, which is good, I think. Seems reasonable. Can we... This is concerning. Oh, because this is undefined, that's fine. Because some of the buttons probably we probably didn't have the names all correct. Num triangles seems to be... Oh, this one's just fucked because it's undefined, that's fine. So it must be now that we don't have this list is not correct. It's because share we didn't heal the share name. There we go, that's better. Cool. Okay. So we have body, north, south, share in here now. And they've theoretically parsed. Theoretically. So can we do something like for each of these things, every frame, can we try rendering? So this is just like a model iterator. We have the component, I guess. And like, what happens if we render this? Does it look okay? I don't fucking know. I think iterator wants... Oh, this is unused, true. And then this guy's complaining that model needs to be variable to iterate it. I guess, fine, fuck it, I guess. And then component, is he like, I want to dereference this thing or something? Or maybe value? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's see. It's perfect. I see no problems. Fuck. So this is interesting. There is a circle in here that looks okay. Can we try only to take one of the buttons? Let's like only the A button. It's not even in frame. Probably because the scale of this thing is totally fucked. Right? Like our clip space is probably -1 to 1 would be my guess. Can we just like times 0.1 or something? Like let's just... Okay, 0.1 is too low. 0.5. Okay, so there's our A button, which seems okay. What happens if we add in our Y button? Doesn't exist. Okay, interesting. What about east? Okay, interesting. So, aspect ratio looks off for sure. For sure, definitely. But I'm trying to like build some intuition on how it's off, right? Because what's interesting here is like we're dumping vertices directly in clip space. Yeah. This is intentionally, it's supposed to look fucked up, but I'm trying to understand why the triangles looked like that. You know what I mean? Because no matter how we are viewing this thing, it should be like valid. I guess maybe we were going like past the end of the clip space, and so things were getting clipped, and so it looked like the body was not correct. Yeah, you are starting to see the shape here. If I just like keep multiplying, if I just like keep making this thing smaller to try to fit it into the world better, does it start to look... No, see, there's still something wrong here. This looks like we're kind of seeing the back of the controller, by the way, and only half of it. Right? Like, there's multiple problems here. It looks to me like this is the back of the controller, and the buttons are kind of like sitting on the top of the back of the controller here, which is fine. But like only half of the triangles are rendering. That's bad. And only half of the controller is rendering. Also bad. Can you move the camera back? Well, right now there really isn't a camera, to be honest. Right now there's like a cube that is being rendered, and we're just trying to hope that everything's in that cube. Are you doing backface culling? But like, shouldn't the OBJ file be exporting correct windings of the triangles? Like, if backface culling was on, it should either be all missing or none missing, right? That's what I would think. That's what I would think. Oh, unless like there's no depth buffer. Does that do something here? Right, so I would think with no depth buffer and as long as the winding order is correct, we should see solid. That's what I would imagine. I'm going to fix the half thing here. I think what's happening... Yeah, but it's all red. Yeah. But, like, we're seeing holes in the red, which I don't like. That means that there's something that's not working the way I expect. I'm going to export this again. And I just want to double check that I had apply modifiers on. I did. So... it could be that, like, the clip space is not what I expect here. Can I go back to, like... Can I see... How do I fucking see my properties on this thing again? Oh, edit mode. Here. Like, where are my modifiers? Oh, they're down here. So, like, this mirror should be getting applied, and we can confirm, actually, that if we do a new file and we import this thing, I think that it should look okay. And it's not like he has any modifiers applied, right? Yeah, this is just like the raw model. So that's super interesting. It's super strange that it's like half working. It looks kind of like you got one triangle per quad. Hold. Yeah. It does kind of look that way, like we're only getting half of them, right? And it could also be that the face list is just not long enough, and so it's getting truncated, maybe? Yeah, because the holes do look very interspersed. Okay, let's go back and double check. I mean, we could be making the same mistake with faces? No. So for 0 to 3, I take the component. Again, it's also weird that the buttons look okay, by the way. Right? Like, these guys don't have the holes in them. So it does kind of make it sound like... Try exporting rendering a cube. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. I think there's nothing to save here, I think. I agree with what you're saying. We need to triangulate, though. We need to triangulate. So what was it? This was like a viz. Home streamer untitled. All right. And in here, we now are looking for object of probably just like cube. Okay. Cube was not found, huh? Although, oh, we're not exporting the last thing we find, by the way. That's a mistake. We need to do this part, like, at the bottom before returning, like, for our last case. Okay. So same problem, huh? Same problem here where we're only seeing half the quad. So this should be a lot more easy to debug. Can we print the face list? So can we do like 4, 0, 4? I don't know what I'm doing here yet. Var index. Oh. Faces. And this is just. Yeah, I think it's still over 3. We're probably just not printing all the things. Much better. Much better. We were looking at the vertex list instead of the face list. My bad. My bad. But then I think we're chill. Can we go back to the other thing then? Oopies. Much better, baby. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. That's a fucking thing. Okay. So now what? Now what? We want to view it from the right angle and we want to color each button according to some rules, right? So our shader, he has a color input already. Great. So we should just be able to like map according to button, right? So maybe we have like, yeah, fine, we'll do this. We'll do color here is going to return a 3F32 or something. And this guy's going to be like switch on self. Body is going to be white for now, I guess is fine. Maybe black. Let's do black. Let's do white. Then anything else is red for now. We'll figure out colors. We'll figure out how to make it look not like shit eventually. Eventually, but for now we'll just do this. And then we should be able to go, when we render, we want to take in a color. And we want to assign that to here. Into the uniform that's passed in. And here we want to pass in component key color. Boom. Yeah, when you want to hide it with press. Yeah. I'll cover that later. That's a problem for future me. Okay, so we do see the red buttons on top. That's a good sign. And now can we rotate this thing? So how do we want to do this? Transformation matrix, probably. Mat 4x4. So that probably comes in as a vertex shader uniform, which I believe in this world we have to specify specifically where that uniform lives. Unlike in normal OpenGL, I believe SDL specifically is asking us to put them in specific spots. Let me double check. Shader uniform location set SDL Spurvy. It's like that set of words should hopefully. Nope. It's like on their wiki somewhere. It's on like maybe on the call to set uniform. Maybe it's like this function. They say where I'm supposed to put this stuff. Nope. Well, that's annoying. It's in here somewhere. They say like vertex. Oh, wait, maybe here? Nope. Fuck. Oh, here. For vertex shaders, use set 0 for samplers and storage textures and storage buffers. Set 1 for uniform data. For fragment, use set 3. Yeah. So we did this in the fragment shader. So if we want to manipulate vertices, we need some sort of rule about how we're going to manipulate those. And so this is going to be a mat 4x4 transform. Okay. And then we should be able to apply that transform to the position. Right? So let's start by just trying to figure out how to upload this thing correctly. And then once we figure that out, like if we do identity transform and then a scale and that works, then we can start trying to apply rotation. I think. So for those of you who are, I guess, are less familiar with graphics programming, you know, what's happening here is we want to apply some math to every point on, like, every triangle has 3 points. Every one of those points we want to apply some sort of like rotation, translation, scale. Like we might want to do all of these things to it, right? And so we kind of have like this like box of numbers that we can kind of use to specify that. And we like want to say, hey, this box of numbers is consistent for all of the vertices within this model. And so we want to like apply that to all of them. It's like kind of what's happening here. It's a short version. Slight typo. You want transform times vec4 pos 1.0. That's true. That is true. And then I don't need the vec4 here. That's a good point. So I think I have one of these. Transform 3D identity. Yeah, okay. And then we want to maybe push GPU vertex uniform data. Okay, beautiful. This guy lives at slot 0 for these guys, and I guess this is going to be frag uniform data. Goes down here. And then we have vert uniform data, and this has got to be like a 4x4 matrix, right? So this is going to be like, I think that we can just take this value directly. Yeah. I think this will work. I don't know if they want column major or row major. They probably want column major, which is going to get fucked up here in a second. But we'll kind of deal with that when we get there. I assume that I have a transpose function already. I assume, but I don't really know. There you go. Let's see what happens. Okay. We're really zoomed in there. Can we try to do a scale of, just scale it down by 10 in all axes? Not looking promising. It is not looking promising. Right, so let's go back to the other way we were doing this for a second. Ignoring the transform. So this is what a 10 times downscale should look like. In GL, uniforms are shared between vertex and fragment shaders of the same program. Do you know if that's not the case in more modern APIs? Yeah, I'm not sure. I think this might be like an SDL abstraction where they are specifically asking you to separate the vertex and fragment uniforms. I don't know about the underlying guys beneath, but I believe that this is a like SDL convention is to separate them. And maybe that's because one of the many APIs forces you to do it that way, or maybe all of them do. I'm not sure, right? Because like their pipeline, you don't define like a program like you do in OpenGL, right? You'd like have a pipeline that has a vertex and fragment shader. And I don't know if that like means something else here. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. Not sure. Okay. I don't like doing it the more constrained way seems more forward thinking than anything else. Yeah, maybe. I don't like how this is gone. So I don't really know what the fix is here. We need to like, because we're just like manually packing data into a uniform buffer, which is like not really the way it was in OpenGL. In OpenGL, you say like, here's a 4x4 matrix. Here we're kind of saying like, here is a buffer and like do what you will with it. You know? How can we inspect this? What's arg0 in these calls? It's supposed to match this guy right here. So like set1 defines basically which, like how does this? By writing set1 here, we're kind of saying, hey, SDL, please bind, like when you say bind vertex uniform, we're talking about this guy. Binding 0 here is like the index that goes into that argument, right? So if we had 4 uniforms, we would throw more of them in here, right? So you could do 1 and put 1 here, is like my understanding at least, which could be wrong. Could be wrong. Okay, so I guess the question is can we like default initialize this thing? Is that like a thing we could do? And how do you do that in this language? I don't remember. Like, can I just do this? I think you need to specify each column manually, maybe? Like this? I don't really remember. I think it's like this. So if I then try to do this instead, he doesn't like that. Can we run this command and just kind of see what the fuck is going on? Expected equal got comma or semicolon at 5. Looks like no, huh? Looks like he doesn't like that. Unlucky. This is a job for the idiot? Yeah, maybe. I guess trailing comma error. Oh, you think I can just fucking run it? Oh, I undid and then changed it. Hold on. So you're thinking I can do this. You think I can do... Hold. Like this? You think this will work? No, he's getting mad at like the equals. I think that he just doesn't like assigning default values in here. That'd be my guess. We can at least try this though. Transform 2 is the same thing. Maybe I should not fucking type this every time. Thoughts? One. Okay, so if I do this, I'm assuming that this is obviously gonna work, right? Yeah, that is obviously gonna work. And then if I, try to scale it in X, this thing will get skinnier. Yeah, that's expected. So it's obviously related to us trying to use the transform passed in, right? Pretty clearly. Like, likely it's just getting, like, garbage data. Either we're not uploading the right thing in the right format, or, it's something else, or it's not getting the data at all. I'm gonna try to do something a little bit more intentional here. Can we do, like, just let's manually define our data like this. Right, so if we do this, and we pass this guy along, like, how happy is he with that? Not very, right? And can we maybe just start, like, doing stuff in here and seeing if we see any, like, visual change? No, right? What if I, like, just starts, like, if I just, like, start, like, changing the data in here, like, does the way that this garbage look change at all? And I think no, right? Should be a uniform buffer object is the shader, or is uniform the same thing? I don't know. That's a good question. Because it worked for the color, is the thing, right? I just copy-pasted whatever I typed over here And this worked, but this doesn't. I wonder if I've got the set wrong. Did I possibly get that wrong? Any uniform buffers in their own set. I mean, this looks like works. Okay, maybe matte 4x4 is not the wave, right? If we do, hear me out. Let's try this for a second. So we'll say transform is matte 4x4. And we kind of like manually constructed here. Transform A, B, C, D, right? Like maybe this works better for whatever reason, right? I don't know, but we have to try something, right? And that's a thing that we could try. That changed something. Not for the better. Not for the better. But it did change something. Interesting. What if we take the first piece from the uniform and the second piece is from somewhere else. Well, that's good. We love to see that. We love to see that. So whatever the fuck we did there resulted in somebody referencing invalid memory and then GPU crashing. Yeah. Which is a little bit annoying. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Fuck. Dude, that's so bad. That's so bad. I don't know what to do now because I don't want that to happen again. You know? Also, like... Oh, shit. I know what it is. We have to say how many uniforms we have. Hopefully. Num uniform buffers. This happened to me yesterday when I was trying to do the colors. If I didn't fix this, then it got mad. And so we need to say that we have one uniform in the vertex object as well. Yeah. Okay. Here's to hoping. So did we... Dude, what a fucking... Fuck. Alright, well, maybe we crash again. Let's fucking go, baby! Okay, sick. Let's try again now. Using the whole thing that they passed in. So can we go back to this thing being matte 4x4 transform? We love low-level graphics APIs, baby. Sick. Okay. Then, can we go back to, this guy needs to, like, can we try pulling this directly from the transform now? And then I think it makes sense to do a little comp time insert here. That the type of transform inner data is 16 after 2. Like, if this ever changes, then this won't work correctly anymore. Let's go, baby! Let's fucking go! Okay, so we should be able to, like, rotate and scale this thing now. So we should be able to be like, then rotate. I don't know what my axes are. Surely Y up? Surely Y up. So we want to rotate around X by 90 degrees, but this is probably in radians. Pi over 2? There you go. Okay, okay. And then after that, we want to do a rotate on Z. No, wait. Why is it upside down? Why is it upside down? I guess we start with a scale of negative Z, maybe? No. Negative Y. There we go. That's starting to look maybe like something. Darn, I missed the GPU crash. Yeah, hard life. Hard life. Alright, we'll figure out how to make this better later, but for now, that's something. I guess the aspect ratio is fucked too, which we can just fix by making it an 800 by 800 window. That's the easiest fix here. Fuck. Where do I make the window? In here, probably? Aha, 800 by 800. Just to make my life easier. You rotate over X, which goes left to right. X goes left to right, so I'm trying to rotate around X, which goes like this. You know what I mean? So I did what I wanted, I'm pretty sure. Okay, now we just need the rest of the objects in here. So, what we got? Body, north, south, east, west, share. I guess we just look here, right? Fuck. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. Are we still alive? Oh, fuck. Okay. We're good. Open, recent. Alright. Back, start. I think we called it mode for the middle one. Yep. We got pad up. Are we? Fuck my life. Are we still live? Are we still live? We're here? Okay, because my OBS, I don't know what to do about this. You never went down? Well, this is even weirder. My OBS, hold on, I'm trying to tell from my, I'm showing OBS on my screen here, and nothing is moving. Oh, none of the, I see, none of the, wait, are we back? Guys, no more GPU crashes. No more GPU crashes allowed. I'll fucking say it. Nice crash, bro. I hate this. All I tried to do was Alt-Tab, okay? That's all I wanted to fucking do. That's all I wanted to fucking do. Fucking GPU programming. fucking dumbass fucking GPU programming. Wait, can we get the music back? Alright. God damn it. We need a second stream computer. Well, we just need fucking software to be better, you know? Like, this shouldn't be happening. We should never be able to fuck up a program so bad that this happens, and the only thing we did wrong at any point in here, by the way, was that we accidentally didn't write the right number of uniforms. This is insane, right? This is an insane consequence for what we did, which was that we wrote 0 instead of 1 somewhere. Right? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Pad up, pad left, pad right. Um, Pad down. Then we have right stick, right trigger, left stick, left trigger. All right. That's close. The sticks. I bet you our Z is inverted, so the sticks are probably we're probably seeing through like the back of the controller right now or something. And because we have no depth buffer, like there is no front to back. If I like remove the body from this thing, still no sticks. That's interesting. Did I name them wrong? Right stick, left stick. Are those in the OBJ? Oh, they're underscores. Everything that had a space has an underscore now. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Okay. I should have known. There we go. Nice. 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 Okay. So we have no depth buffering, which is a problem. But we'll just maybe ignore that for now because I don't want to change stuff that's likely to crash the fucking GPU again. So we'll kind of say we did this. And we don't know the time anymore because my OBS is like fucked. So I have like 3 videos that I have to stitch together now. So I don't know the timestamp. So we're just gonna leave this at question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I get, but I guess we'll say we can write down started so that it's easy for me to scan for in the timeline. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So let's do something here. I don't know what. I actually want that a little louder. Okay. So the color is passed in. Great. So somewhere we need to ask SDL about this gamepad. So how do we do that? How do we do that? I think we need to ask for SDL init gamepad. And then hopefully, I think that like just events come in or something. I believe there are events for like controller stuff. So like maybe if we just say like stood debug print got event, and then can we just write out like a number and then kind of go from there and see what happens? Um, Chat, should we hear the music too? It's very quiet. It's supposed to be very quiet. But stream hears it. YouTube should not. Okay, so pressing anything on this gamepad is doing absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah. No events coming in for this type of event. Or maybe if I select the window though, then move the mouse the gamepad around. No, still nothing. Okay, so it seems like. What about like keyboard? Yeah, typing does. So I probably need to do something to initialize. I probably need to do something to initialize this thing. So let's reference the SDL source code. Like this, and let's look for. I think it was like test controller is the program that we were using to test this stuff. And I believe everything starts in app init or something. Do they do anything to manually turn on gamepads? SDL init. So they do specifically ask for joystick and gamepad, so maybe we need both. I was thinking that like maybe it's only one or the other. Let's try this. Okay, still nothing when I move. However, it's possible that one of these like init events, one of these guys could be related, and maybe like once it's there, we have to like open it or something, right? Like that wouldn't be unreasonable. So maybe we look for what these numbers mean. So there's like SDL event, I think. So we've got joystick added here at around hex 600 and gamepad added at around hex 650. So let's log in hex and see if it looks right. $605 and $653. Yeah, so we are getting something that's related to gamepads and joysticks. So if we have like SDL event gamepad added, is this 603? Oh, it's not. That's not helpful. Gamepad at 650, 651, 652, 653. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So if we see this, I guess, do we like just try to create the gamepad automatically here? Maybe. What do they do here? So when they have like gamepad added, they call handle gamepad added, which it looks like there's like an ID attached to this thing. Perfect. And they, what are they doing? They're calling find controller, which I don't really know why you would need to do that. Oh, they're checking if it matches like some internal controller list or something. Do they actually, here, they call SDL open gamepad. This is the interesting part. This is the interesting part. So presumably, we have to call that. I assume it was the ID goes in here. Yep. Okay. And then do we return this? Probably, right? We probably like return gamepad added with the gamepad that we made. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Is this really what I want to do? I don't really know. I haven't really figured out how I want like event propagation to work here yet, but we'll just do whatever's easiest to type first and then deal with the fallout later. Okay. So then, now do we start seeing events happen? Okay, yes, now on button presses I'm seeing stuff happen. Right, that's good. So when this is in the foreground and I press the A button or the south button, I am seeing 652 and 651. So 651 on press, 652 on release. Yeah. And then, yeah, I think that's good. Okay. So can we look for gamepad button down and gamepad button up? Perfect. Okay, and then how do they handle these? So here they check. Oh, it's event G button, which. Okay. So do they know, does this tie it to which controller? Like this event G button, it hopefully tells us which controller it's for. But who knows? G button. Yeah, so he does tie it back to an ID, which is good. So I wonder if it makes more sense in this world that we're working in for like it kind of feels like the gamepad should be owned by this like SDL abstraction, right? Like have like gamepads as like a list here of like gamepad or something. Or something like this, right? And then we can like kind of query this gamepad for this thing. But for now, let's just assume that we only have one plugged in, because I think that's just going to be easier. I don't really want to deal with the fact that we have to manage multiple, so we'll just say like the latest one added is always the one that we're working with. Or when we return this thing, we can return it with its ID. Maybe that's the play. So this is the gamepad and this is the ID. And then it's up to the caller to like manage that shit. That seems nice. Then they can do whatever they want. Perfect. So this is like gamepad added is ID is event G device which, and the gamepad is this. Boom. Okay. And then when we see a button, does this tell us which button it is? It does. The button is a U8. What the hell does that mean? What does it mean? SDL gamepad button. That probably lives in gamepad here. Yep. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, this is all making sense. So what we should do is in here, maybe we say button, gamepad, button pressed. For this ID, we have the button, which is CSDL gamepad button. So here we're like return gamepad button pressed. Okay. Gamepad ID is event G button which button was pressed? Maybe something like that? You should have done from scratch. Well, there's a reason we're not doing that. There's a reason. It's because there's a bunch of drivers in here that we're leveraging. So they're not even using evdev. They're parsing like the controller packets directly. And so like I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? This is where I'm like drivers are where I draw the line a lot of the time. Like I'm not dealing with that shit. Okay. So I think we don't care about gamepad added right now, actually. I think we're just assuming that they're all the same one. And we're going to say, like, button state here is going to be, like, or, like, press state, maybe? Can be a stood enum set. Maybe, yeah, this is pressed buttons. Is going to be an enum set of, like, the controller element. Really, we should kind of probably have these be, like, buttons or something. Like, buttons and sticks should be separate. Yeah, fine. Fine. We will. So I am going to treat triggers as buttons because I don't use them as analogs. These are all buttons, but the sticks are not. But these things all are, I think. Yep. So, okay. then what? So here it becomes like pretty clear, I think. When we have like button pressed, this like gets put into the pressed buttons. When I assume Enum said he's using a bit set under the hood. It is good. Good. So this is like cheap. This is cheap. Pressed, I guess this has to be initialized. Empty. So it's like press buttons, insert, and we need to switch like button comes from this event. Right? So this is like SDL gamepad button south. This is south, right? So I think we can do something like this. Okay. And maybe this probably comes from like, this probably lives in like a from SDL function. Yeah. Okay. And then we just have to, this is like a nullable probably. Okay, and then we just need to get all of these guys from here. So it's like we type this SDL gamepad button yoink till this uppercase till the end. No. Uppercase here. Paste. That didn't work. Okay. QQ SDLC SDL gamepad button uppercase to the end. I forgot to yoink, but that's okay. We'll just do that after. Fuck. I fucked it up again. If you fuck up the macro, it like cancels itself, which is a problem. So you have to be perfect. Yoink till comma uppercase word find comma dot paste. There we go. And then probably some of these don't exist. Start's good, back's good, mode is not good. What do they call mode? Touchpad, maybe? Unclear. Unclear. I guess the left stick and right stick are buttons, by the way. I guess they are. Okay, that's good. That's good. Triggers are not. What about like pad? What do they call them in here? D-pad up. So now these are all good. Yep. So it's just mode, which is like the like Xbox logo. I don't know if and share. Oh, there's more down here. Yeah, do they not have like capture or share? Is select too old school? Yeah, maybe. I think that it's called menu, select, back. I think all of those. Yeah, interesting. I don't know where. If I call gamepad test, like, does it have these? Like, if I run this gamepad test thing. Uh, hold. Hold. Oh, fuck. The Nick's paths changed. No. No. I'll have to rebuild. Oh no! You gotta re-fucking oh, I don't want to do this shit because I fucking upgraded Nyx. All of like I deleted a bunch of shit, so all of the like old paths are missing. Oh, that's so annoying. I have to rebuild the whole thing now. That's so annoying. Oi, 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 oi. What do you have to share on a gamepad? Like share a game URL? It's basically like a screenshot or like clip button, which I use sometimes. How else are you gonna get clips? How else are you gonna show people that you're cool? Dude, do you guys think that it makes sense to check that stir nlen exists and do it for like 3 seconds? And do that for every single function in the standard library? Is this a reasonable thing for your build system to do? Very important. Yeah, I mean, I guess like it would suck if it wasn't there, but surely you could just assume that it is, right? Surely you could just not do this. Whatever it's doing, surely we don't have to do it, right? Like, surely. There must be a platform where it doesn't exist. Yeah, probably, but it's not my platform. Like, surely they can tell that my platform's Linux with libc, right? And they can just skip all of that part. All right, how do I run this thing? Right, because now I had to like manually check that I had to like manually set LZ library path. Great. This is the fun part of using Nyx. Fuck. Env grep Wayland. Right, we just start like hammering this shit, right? All right. Fuck me. Oh wait, hold on. What did we do last time? I think what we did last time was we took the Nyx LD flags. I remember what we did last time. This is, everyone, I love it when you use Nyx. Yeah, this is the problem that comes with it. But I think it was like, we just fucking, every time we found a -L, we replaced it with a colon, and just hoped that this would be sufficient. QQ back, XXX colon. Boom, 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 boom. Because they're DL opening stuff, which are not in the library path, but they were in the link path. And it's like, I don't know what the fuck to do with that. Let's go, baby. So what I want to know is... Oh, this is the wrong controller, by the way. Did the share button, like, exist for them? Oh, but now I need to hold. I need to run the driver. This is why we statically link. Yeah. Nick streams the best. Hell yeah. Hold on, I need to turn on the gamepad remapper for this to work the way I expect it to. Hold. I just have to do it on my other account because it requires root. Hold. Oh, let's fucking go. Okay. Share. They call it MISC1. MISC1 is their share button, I guess. And then what is this called? Guide. They call it Guide and MISC1. Okay. Okay, and then... Guide? There we go. Hell yeah. No, we don't use Nyx with their weird ass file system. Yeah, this is why we don't use Nyx with their weird ass file system. Yeah, but it's kind of sick. You know? Sometimes it's nice to have their weird ass file system. Okay. So now we should be able to call from SDL button somewhere. Button, from SDL button, info button, or else break block. And now, somewhere, hello, what is he like? Okay. So now what? We say when we get the color, I guess we flip it based off of the press state. Um, so it's like if pressed, we'll do blue. There we go. And then pressed is like pressed buttons contains component. But like here we need to like convert to a button. Like button component is going to be we need to like convert it by name. Student meta string to enum tag name perfect. This surely works. We convert the thing to a string and then from the string back into an enum, but a different enum. Is this how you do enum conversion? Is this fucking stupid? Maybe, but it seems reasonable to me. Because hopefully every model component, or else, I guess this is like pressed is like a whole block, and then if this thing doesn't convert, it's false. Like this. Yeah, like this. Okay. This seems like it might work. Whether or not it's reasonable, cannot say, but, you know, it is what it is. Okay. Okay, so when I press them, they turn on. That's good. They all turn on. They never turn off. So we should probably fix that. We should probably fix that. So this is just up, right? And this is just released. And then this is just released. And then we go released is remove. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll take it. I think buttons done. Let's do sticks next. Sticks time. Triggers? Ah, I'll get those later. they kind of might come along with the sticks as well. You know, I'm not really sure. Okay, so there's probably like an event for like something moved, right? Axis motion? Surely. I think we might get triggers for free when we go through this process. Because the axis for the triggers is we'll just say like if it's above some threshold or something. Gamepad axis motion. And what is this thing? It's not G button, probably G axis. Okay, nice. And we have which again, which makes sense. Can you have two buttons pressed at the same time? Yeah, pretty sure that'll work. But it won't compile right now, so we'll have to give it a sec. So what does this thing give us? You know what I mean? He gives us which axis, okay, as well as the value as assigned int 16. So event G axis value, and this is axis, and this is axis. Okay. So now we just have to define this thing. So the gyro might actually come in here too. I'm not really sure. Not sure. So this is C SDL axis like this, and value is an I16. Boom. Okay, what's he mad at here? No field name gamepad game. Well, because I spelled it wrong. Fine. Okay, so we see. I guess we have axis state is here. So this is gonna be an enum map, I think, of axis to like an int 16, I guess. Init. I guess init full 0 makes sense here. And so our axis here is what? I don't know yet. So this is like left x, y, right x and y, LT and RT, I guess, is what makes sense to me. Those are we're just looking down, those are the 3 things I see, or the 4 things I see. Okay, so if we see gamepad axis motion, we're probably gonna have to do some sort of like axis from SDL axis, or else break a block. Let's get the fuck out of here. And then we have like axis state is somehow tied to this thing. So what? Put axis info value. Easy. So now we should want from SDL axis, easy peasy. SDL axis was cint probably. Switch on that thing, and it's SDL axis gamepad axis. Oh, perfect. Easy. And I guess this is optional because it might not exist. Y goes to Y if you think about it. Then probably anything that said left here can turn to right. Probably. And then we have probably triggers, right? Left trigger and right trigger, easy. Righty-tighty. Okay. So this is LT and RT. This is lowercase. Easy. Okay. So then we have to do something with this, right? Which means that when we render, we're going to add like an additional transform to this guy. So I guess we're going to switch on the component key here. And we're going to say like transform here. And if we see left trigger, I need to think for a second. So, sorry, triggers I don't care about. This is like left stick. So, this is like 2 axes that I guess are measured completely independently of each other. So, I'm trying to think like when you rotate up, can you just think of them as 2 independent rotations applied back to back? I think you can, right? So, like if I rotate like this, then like this, is that the same as rotating like this and then like this? I think it is. I think. Because they're measured independently. So I think you can just do... like transform 3D, rotate Y by axis state get left Y. Sorry, you rotate X by the Y and Y by the X actually. I think. Yeah, because you need to rotate around the a rotation in the Y axis of the joystick is a rotation around the X axis of the world. You know what I mean? Like Y means up and down, which is around the horizontal axis, and X is left and right, which is around the horizontal axis. Confusing. However, I believe that the canonical rotation for the controller is like this. Like it's towards, it's like flat along with the camera, and then we rotate it after. Oh fuck. The origin of everything is 0. That's annoying. Yeah, that's annoying because the obj file, how to say this? Like the obj file, it's like translated all of the vertices to put them in like some canonical world space. But it's like I kind of want to rotate the joystick around the bottom of it. And so like we need that point. And instead of exporting that thing properly, I'm just literally gonna look at what it is here because I'm a lazy piece of shit. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Okay. uh, so we want to do, it's like offset is, X, Y, Z. Alright. Hard code it for now, deal with it later. Actually figure out from obj. But like, whatever. Don't forget my deadband? What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay. So we need to do, before we do rotation, we translate. So we like make it so that this point is at 0 so that all rotations go around 0 and they all kind of work. So we need to do like negative offset 0, negative offset 1, negative offset 2. Okay. Then we do a rotate around the x-axis of axis state get left y. And then we rotate around Z because I think that it's Z is into the page, but the thing is flat initially. So this is gonna be left X. And then we need to put it back where it's supposed to be. So then we translate it back to offset 0, offset 1, offset 2. You're constantly updating because you'll never be true 0, so you'll get a band that's effectively your controller's 0. Oh, you're talking about like dead zones? Well, the controllers I buy just have good enough dead zone handling in their internal firmware that I can treat it as 0. They like map, they're like very accurate. But also I like, yeah. I don't think I need to handle dead zones in software. I don't think. Or even if I do, it doesn't really matter because I'm trying to visualize the physical state of the controller anyways. So like, if the sticks are moving around in the visualization, that's also fine. So either way, it's like not a big deal. Okay. Else, we will just give it identity, I guess. For now. Curious what happened to the gamepad. Never been a controller guy, but seems nice for casual games. Curious what gamepad? Oh, I bought a GameSir G7 Pro, which I wouldn't recommend because we had to write a driver to make it work. make the gyro work. But I mean, it's a good controller other than that. And there's other versions of it that do have proper handling. What is it mad about here? Oh, break block here, maybe? There we go. Okay, so then we want it so that when we render, we have like an extra transform that comes in here that gets applied before the like global one. So we do transform, then all of this shit. Okay. It's perfect. It's perfect. You can tell because when I move the stick, it ends up where it's supposed to be. Dude, what the fuck did I do? That's shippable software right there, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, these offsets could just be wrong. These offsets could just be wrong. That's like a very real possibility. Can we look at maybe left stick? So we are looking at something around negative 1.1x, maybe something around 0.6 or 0.5 in y. Yeah, I mean, could be. I'm not convinced about the z value. Oh, maybe, because I guess we want like minimum z. There's definitely negatives. Oh wait, did I miss object change? No, there's something wrong here because like there's negatives in the vertices for left stick, which by the way, I don't think there should be negative z's at least. Oh, why is there up axis in the model? Oh, I see. I see. Y is the up axis. So, well, that's... Okay, hold on. Let's only do one rotation right now. I just want to see what that looks like. It looks to me like it is kind of, it's like, it's rotating from somewhere like way too far down. And it's rotating way too fast as well. Right? Yeah, wait. So one of these things is that the value of rotation needs to be clamped. Right? We're rotating like 3,000 times around the stick, but like this is a S16 going from negative S16 max to S16 max, right? And we want that to turn into like maybe like what, 10 degrees? Yeah. So we want to do like float from int this divided by max int I16 times, I don't know, like 10 degrees in radians, so degrees to radians 10. Let's just see if this like does something. This doesn't solve like the geometry problem, but it will at least help us get like better intuition about. The y-axis isn't even the y-axis, which is interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, what's going on here? Am I rotating in the wrong space? This is confusing to me because, like, as far as I'm concerned, this should be perfectly up and down. Oh yeah, flip these X. We have to flip these. That didn't fix anything. Okay, what if we just don't do the translation part? Hold. Like, what I would expect to happen here is that it would be like rotating around like the center of this world. But it seems like that's not a problem for some reason. I don't really understand why that's not a problem. There we go. That's definitely a problem. That's definitely a problem. Okay. Maybe visualize the point you think you're rotating around. That does seem like a good idea. It does seem like a good idea. But before we do that, I'm just gonna try like fucking raw dogging it and slamming my face to the wall one more time. So can we look at the left stick? So I'm pretty confident negative 1.3 is going to be like one of the vertices here, right? Like that one or something. 1.4, 1.4. Oh wait, this is in local space, global space. Here we go. So the bottom of this thing is around 0.4. So that makes sense here. Then right side should be around, you know, negative 0.92 on X. Okay, so wait, what was it? Negative 0.92. Yeah, so I believe that the x-axis is the x-axis. Seems reasonable. I think here the y-axis is the z-axis and the z-axis is the y-axis. So this center does seem kind of correct to me. Are the vertex coordinates of the file and object local coordinates? I think no. I think no. Okay. So then, I mean, it should be that if I flip these, it should just kind of work. It's also weird that, like, yeah, I wonder if one of these has to be, like, just negative for some fucking reason. I don't really know what I'm trying to get intuition on here, but it is weird that the translation is, like, changing. Yeah, I'm missing something. I don't know what I'm missing, but I'm missing something. It could, I mean, it's possible that our, like, rotation vectors are just wrong, but I mean, that looks pretty correct. That would be hard for that to be incorrect. So when we are doing rendering, are we applying it wrong here? We do the, like, original transform. Then we rotate it around the world however we wanted to. It seems correct to me. Did we fix the controller being inverted front to back? Oh yeah, I guess we did just do like a negative scale here, which I wonder, I don't think that should matter. It feels like it's like rotating around something over here. That's how it feels to me. Can we do the other axis? Just out of curiosity. So why do the x-axis is equally fucked up? The fuck? Oh, rotate Z, my bad. Oh my lord! That's something really wrong. Something really wrong there. Holy fuck me. And then going back to the offset triple zeros. No, that's also fucked up. Perfect. Okay. That's what I want to see. Now at least it's like like it's at least behaving wrong in a way I would expect. You know? Can we go back to not doing any sort of like worlds transform here? Let's leave this thing as it thinks it is. Maybe. I guess we do. Let's move it like a little bit over this way. The fuck? What the hell is happening when I change that? That is not behaving the way I would have thought at all. Yeah, what? That's... something's wrong. Something's wrong because when I'm translating... Oh my god! Oh my god, our, we never fixed the inversion... this thing's fucking flipped. This thing is, it's the column major versus row major. That explains everything. Do we have a, like, flip that shit? Like, invert? We have invert mat... Oh, not... that's the wrong kind of invert. I want transpose. Yeah, we do. We have it on 3x3. Do we have it on 4x4? Yes, we do. Okay. So we just need to transpose the matrix. To flip it over the diagonal. Which, for some reason... Oh, maybe it's on the inner... Yep, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. Alright. I forgot. There we go. Now that looks way more sane. And now, if we go back to the old version of this thing... like this. There we go. That's way more fucking reasonable. Way more reasonable. Sick. Okay. So then... we need to do the the Y rotation as well. And then, can we bring back the offsets that we think should make this more correct? That looks pretty good. Everything... the x-axis is backwards, I think. But otherwise, that is doing what I expect it to do. So, can we just hit a little negative here? There we go, baby. There we fucking go. Wait. I think I did the wrong axis. No, wait, hold on. Left, up, left, down. Oh, no, that is right. That's correct, that's correct. Sick. Sick, 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 sick. Okay. Can we do the right stick now as well? And we just do the same thing where you have to take the right stick's origin. Oops. Copy. Boom. Then it's Z and Y are flipped, so it's this one first. Cool, and then left here goes to right. Boom. Left stick, right stick. Easy fucking peasy. Okay. Let's call that done. And move on to gyro, because that's kind of the point of this whole thing, and I just want to be done with it. So, how the fuck do we get the gyro stuff? That is the next piece. So I guess when I twist this thing, nothing is happening, which means that we must have to ask for the gyro in some way, right? We must have to ask for it to turn on. So what do they do in test controller? Oopsies. How many X's does it report? I don't know. A reasonable amount, I would think. Gyro. Okay. Gyro. Well, let me think about this. There might be enough work to do here that we should do gyro tomorrow. Right, because like it depends on what gyro is giving us, but like what we need to do is we need to convert what I assume is speeds coming out of the controller into a 3D position. Then we need to like sample that 3D position to find like a canonical forwards, and then we need to use that to like visualize on the screen. So there might be enough stuff there for another stream, plus like whatever cleanup we have to do to make it like look less like shit, like outline and stuff. So I think that it's 2:45, which means that we've been streaming for just over 2 hours, which makes this kind of like a natural point to end it and then come back at it tomorrow. I think that makes more sense than trying to quickly shoehorn in the gyro stuff, you know? The SDL3 gyro automatically counts for drift. Nice. I don't know, right? I don't know what SDL gives us, right? If it just gives us 3D position, that's like way easier. But I just don't know what it gives us, so I don't want to commit to doing that now. I think it just makes more sense to try that tomorrow. So I think we call it here. I think this is a success. Look at this bad boy. Look at this shit. Wow, wow, wow. Obviously, the art needs a little bit of love. But it is kind of working. Triggers? Yeah, fine. We'll do the triggers. Fine, we'll do the triggers. Because it's easy. Because it's easy. Hold on. Fine. So for pressed, we do this. I guess it's like, we need to like check if it's a axis. So if, I guess we switch on component key. And if it is, boom. Okay, so which one of these are buttons? Button, 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 button. These all go to one thing, and these go to the other. Okay, so everything that is a button does what we were doing here. And if it is a trigger, we need to do something like check the axis state. And just check if this is greater than, I don't know. S6 stood math max int S16 or 816 over 2 or something. You know, something like this. Obviously, some cleanup will need to be done here to remove some duplication through a bunch of the shit that we wrote, but this seems kind of right. Yeah, maybe something like this. Why is he mad here? Body false. Okay, cool. There we go. So trigger down, trigger down, trigger down. Trigger down, trigger down, trigger down, trigger down. Fine. Fine. I mean, we could also do like a gradient of the trigger between the two colors, but this is fine for now. Okay, now we call it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, we'll be back probably tomorrow to do the like actual 3D visualization stuff, which is the whole reason we did this in the first place. There's a Patreon where some stuff goes sometimes. Some streams don't make it to YouTube. So those ones get archived on Patreon, YouTube members, or Twitch VODs. If you pay in the per place, you're helping the stream continue, and you're getting access to a little extra content. But you should be able to follow along without doing that, so don't feel pressured. I think that's it. YouTube, peace. Twitch, let's find someone to raid.